go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, guys. All right. So old microphone's on the charging right now. New one is not really reliable just yet. So I'm on the computer here. So let me know if there's any sort of like echo that starts to come through or something, and I'll figure it out. But okay. So I have Maya open here. I don't have my Minecraft character, so I'm gonna go ahead and model a quick model here. Using a reference, so
wait, my camera on?
Yeah, I see you, man, hair and all.
Man, this thing doesn't.
Well, okay, so it's not working. The old school method is just grabbing a piece of tape and then. Okay.
Was it fine to use a mod? That's what I did.
To use a what now?
A mod, you know, the monsters. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Something that either walks or crawls. That'll be great.
Oh. Mine's kind of hot, so I probably have to redo it.
It has a body, it has a head, and it has legs, right? The creeper, right?
No, this one was a slime. I was like, you know what, let's do a slime. I want to learn how to make it hot. I want to see that.
Make him hop.
Or, huh?
Yeah, hopping will be interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. So let me go ahead and model mines real quick. Waiting for the rest of the mines to come up. So let's just start the cube. Vertex. Let's start with the torso here. Oh, sorry guys.
Oh.
Process of moving. Let's shrink this a little bit. Say his legs are just as long as the torso. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to make the legs out of two cubes here, so he has a knee joint we can work with. Split this up a little bit. Alright, duplicates. Let's see. There we go. Legs. Alright, and then pretty bulky arms. Yep. Shrink this a little bit, let's say about half the size. Might work. Yeah, that might work. Okay. Oh, that's pretty thick. It was thinning out just a little bit. That's fine about there. Alright, and then yeah. Leave that right there. Don't worry about exact positioning just yet. Duplicate it, just swing it right over here. Alright, and then he's going to need a head. So, which is basically just a cube here. Yep, that's about it. Alright, here's my Minecraft character. Alright, so we got independent segments for his forearm, upper arm, shin, and torso here. Okay, do y'all models, do you all's models have joints to work with here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, so I mean, this is the first pass, so as long as it has some sort of independent parts here, this will work out fine. Alright, so before I start bringing this all together so we can puppeteer them and start animating, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my part's in a good position here. Alright, so his head should always be touching, so I'm just going to go ahead and snap that to the top there. So I'm going to bring it to the corner, my anchor to the corner by hitting D and V at the same time, pressing and holding, brings it to that vertex right there. Then I can press and hold V, I'm going to snap it to the top of the torso. So now they're nice and flush against one another. And then I'm going to do the same for these guys here. I'm going to click both of them, DV, bring it to this inside vertex, press and hold V, grab this one arrow, swing it in, and then do it for the other side. There we go. Looks like the legs are already in place here. Skinny legs. Alright, and then the next step, we're going to go ahead and name everything. This is really important when doing puppeteering work, because we're going to be working with this a little bit, verifying that the right parts are connected together. So we really need names. Okay, so I'm just going to go through each one. You can either click your part in the center area here, the view pane, and then double click in the outliner off to the side here, or if your channel box is up, double click here and rename. So I'm just going to call this one torso underscore geo. Underscore geo lets me know that it is a polygon. Right. Okay. And since he's facing positive Z, this is going to be his left upper arm. So capital L underscore upper arm. Underscore geo. Alright, left lower arm. Alright. Okay. We'll go ahead and finish naming all the parts independently, so make sure we have our upper arm, lower arm, upper little thigh, shin, or lower leg, however you want to put it, in the head. I'm gonna be right back, guys. Okay. Back. I'm gonna finish naming everything. F, torso, head. Upper arm, Geo. Okay, all done. How are you guys doing?
Done.
Done? Lily, you're done?
I'm trying to get to the thing. I'm looking at what you're doing. It's just taking a while. It's this Maya thing.
What do you mean? Do you have your channel box or your outliner open?
Like, I can't get in. So probably it's just frozen. I can't even open my files.
Okay,
I don't know. I can't even get it there.
let's try right clicking on your taskbar. Wait, you have a PC, right?
Yeah, PC.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
close it out.
close the window.
Yeah, using the task manager. Now end it immediately. Then you can restart Maya.
Okay.
All right, Dragon. Now, the next part, if you want to go ahead and move on. Next part is that we want to go ahead and center up our anchor points, because these will be used as the pivots to rotate the head and the arms and other extremities. So you go ahead and press and hold and use your D key. Then we can center it up. We'll eyeball it. We'll be snapping for another lesson. Snapping the origin point. Alright, just let me know once you have it up.
Okay. I'll let you know.
We put it at the center of everything.
Well, okay, well, center is sort of a bad way to put it. So you want to put it at the joints, right? So the shoulder joints, right? The neck joint here. Oh, I did not save. The torso is going to be at the pelvis point. Legs is up there with the pelvis, and then the shins will be at the knees there.
All right.
All done. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is we're going to select all of them. All right. Come up here to modify at the very top. Then we want to hit freeze transformations. And freeze transformations, what that does is it zeroes out all the translate, rotate, scale properties. So canceling out means it brings all the translation, rotation to 0, scale to 1. So this is kind of like its new origin now.
Freeze transformation was not applied because body translate X was not incoming connection.
Okay, all right, that's new. All right, so let's do this first. Let's select them all again. Go to modify, I believe. And then, no, it's not underneath modify. Here we go. So edit, the edit menu, go to delete by type, and hit history. And I'll just clear out like all the changes you've done to it, and a lot of functions, small transformations, that sort of thing. And it helps reset the shape so you can add some more functions to it. And then once you have that applied, let's go ahead and try to freeze it again.
You just said the same thing.
All right, let me take a look. Okay, let's see. Let's just apply the freeze transformation just to the body there. So let's click on it, and then let's do the modify freeze transformations. All right. Has incoming connection. Okay, let's go to our channel box.
The channel box.
Yeah, that's the outliner, and on the other side is the channel box. So do you see the tab there? Sorry, the right side. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you already have a key in there. So let's go ahead and delete that real quick. So down there in the timeline, you see that red mark? The very beginning, frame 1. All right, let's right click on that. And delete. All right, and let's give it the clear another try. Well, no, let's do the freeze transformations. There, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, you good to go? Lily, is it opening up?
No, I don't. I opened it early and I was just waiting for it to open. Just take my time. It's just really slow today.
Oh, is it? So is not loading up, or is it just tumbling around and stuff really slow?
Like it'll open and then it'll froze. Like I can't click the files. Like I'll open the files and then it just froze. And that's it.
Okay. Is After Effects open?
No, I closed that.
Okay. It probably going to need a restart there. I'm guessing it's something to do with RAM. I mean, it's trying to open it and it's just not working. It sounds like it might be RAM, but let's see. So, like, for the sake of time, I mean, this is all being recorded, so just follow along. Let me know if you have any questions, and then I'll send y'all the link for the video.
All right.
Okay. All right. Oh, gotta open up the screen here. Awesome. All right. So I think it's most of them. Got most of my anchor points in place. Let's see. Yep, that'll work. That'll work. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, almost all of them. So I'm just going to finish that up right quick. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm ready to go. Next stage. So it looks like everything's frozen. So I got my zeros and ones right here. And so now I can start linking them together. Alright, so the way puppeteering works, or rigging, or setting something up for like articulated motion, is that you want to connect everything to a center point. Or a center control unit. Everything needs to be centralized, right? So we're going to use the torso for that on here. Alright, so then we're going to use a process called linking. So with linking, there's a parent and then there's a child. So the parent controls the child, type of thing. So let's see, I'll start with the arm here. And I'll go ahead and link these two together. Let's see if I remember this correctly. Yeah, so child first. Select the child, then you select your parent, and then the hotkey for that is P. And when you hit P, there's going to be a subtle change in your outliner now. So my lower arm, yeah, left lower arm is now missing. But that's because it's parented underneath the upper arm here. And so if I go to my outliner, I hit this plus sign that popped up, you'll see my lower arm is underneath the upper arm. That means it's being controlled by the upper arm's transformations, right? So every time I rotate this, the lower arm rotates with it. But when I rotate the lower arm, that's kind of freaky. Then it rotates on its own independently. So that's kind of a bizarre change right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change that real quick. So just move this to the back. That's much better. Cool. All right. So again, lower arm, click the lower arm first, and click the upper arm, hit P. All right, and I got my change in the outliner. I can verify that it worked. And then what I want to do is link the upper arm to the torso. So click on the upper arm, click on the torso, hit P key. All right. You can check that. Torso has the plus sign now, and then the left arm is missing from the general view here. All right, I'm going to do the same for the other side. Lower arm, upper arm, P. Upper arm, torso, and P. So now the torso controls both arms here. Cool. I'll go ahead and link up the head to the torso. Link up the legs. And link up each leg to the torso here. Now, once you have everything completed, you just simply click the torso, check to make sure everything rotates around with it, and then you can check your outliner. You can expand everything by shift clicking on the plus sign. Expand everything out. You can check the network here. So we got the torso is controlling everything. It controls the upper arm, and the upper arm controls the lower arm, etc., etc. All right. Any questions?
You said you expand everything by what?
You can expand everything by hitting shift and clicking on the plus sign next to the geometry and the outliner.
What in the world?
It worked?
I don't know. Are the axes supposed to expand indefinitely?
The axis? What axis?
The scaling key.
Scaling key? What are you trying to do?
I was trying to. You said everything can be scaled symmetrically by hitting shift and the plus sign, right?
Scaled? Why no. That for the outliner. To expand everything in the outliner, you hit shift and click.
That's what you're talking. Oh, okay. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, an outliner.
Alright. Okay, then let me just hit shift and minus. Shift and the minus key and bring that thing back. Or just hit Z.
Yeah. All right. But you have everything linked up?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And Lily, you following so far?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. All right. And so now that we have everything linked up, now we can start doing cool little poses, right? So we can get them in a running position. Rotating different parts here. Right? You know, it's good for modeling and stuff. But since we have a puppet, we're going to push it a little bit further here. Alright, so we're going to try to animate this guy. And let's see, so what is a very easy animation to do here? Let's try, we can do a sitting motion, right? That can be deceptively complicated at times, but yeah, let's have him from this standing motion to a sitting motion, okay? So build something of a chair or a stool here. Use this guy. Alright. And yeah, right now I'm just building a chair here. That's a faster way to do this. There we go. Okay. Cool. Alright, so delete history, freeze transformations.
It's too small.
It is too small. It is too small. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna push it to add more interest to the animation. I'm gonna make it like a kid's chair. He's trying to sit down in a kid's chair. There. Alright, awesome. It'll be a little different. Alright, cool. So now we get into the king animation, right? So move this guy forward a little bit. Alright, so king in Maya. Got just a bit of enough time to go over this. Alright, so down here we have our timeline. Right? So the timeline here, this little gray square right here is your time slider. Right? Take a look at things moving that are already keyed or effects, that sort of thing. You can grab this guy and scrub it back and forth. And scrubbing is just clicking and dragging to preview your animation or effect. Alright, and right underneath here is the timeline rangefinder. Okay, so we're starting at one keyframe. So this is the max. The maximum keyframe is going to be considered. That's what that number is telling us. And then the one over here is the lowest keyframe in the rangefinder. So if we slide this forward a little bit, looking for a different part of the range, this number changes, but not the first one. So we still have a total of 200 frames still, 1 through 200. But a rangefinder is just looking at a selection of that. Okay. All right, so we can always adjust the rangefinder by clicking and dragging on this part, or we can punch in a different number if we want a specific number right there. And your timeline will update accordingly, of course. This is the upper maximum limit of the rangefinder here. Right, and then this is the maximum frame that's considered in this project. Alright, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we have plenty of frames to work with. So I'm going to punch in 1000, the maximum part. So now it's considering 1000 frames. As you can see, our rangefinder got really small since it's only covering about 200 frames. Alright, so I'm just going to extend this out to about 500. Alright, and if we need more, I can always just slide this down and start using more keyframes. But if not, then I can always just come back here and readjust it accordingly. Alright, let's make sure we're in 24 frames per second right here. Alright, and the rest of these are non-applicable. Alright, so I'm going to start at frame 1 here. Actually, I'm going to shrink this a little bit so you can see more of the individual frames here. Yeah, alright, cool. I'm going to start at frame 1. Alright, and for this you got to know what you're going to move specifically, right? So what I'm going to start with is just the motion. So he's going to back up to sit in the chair here. Alright, that's it. Just lateral movement backwards. Well, not lateral movement, so just moving backwards in space here. All right, and then who can tell me which axis is he moving on right now? Well, he will be moving on.
That is the, I want to say Y axis. Oh no, X axis.
One more.
Huh?
The last one. What's the last one?
Z.
Z. Yeah, the Z or Z. The Z axis, right? So death is Z, right? Left and right is usually X. Up and down is the Y. Alright, so if he's moving forward or backwards, that's the Z axis we're going to work with. Might be different for your model if he's rotated. He's on your X or so forth. Just keep that in mind, right? They are still color coordinated. So, you know, Z is blue, red is X, and then green is Y. The reason why we need to know that is that we want to key each attribute, each transform independently. So I'm at the first frame here. He's going to start forward. He's going to move backwards. So I'm going to come over here. I translate Z right here. Right click and then hit key selected. And that's going to lay down a keyframe right at frame 1 in its current position. Next, I'm going to lay down the next keyframe. So I'm just going to move ahead, say about 10 frames here. Alright, I'm going to move him back into space. Alright, I'll come up to the translate Z, which is the only attribute that changed so far. Right click, key selected. Alright, now I can scrub through and look at all the in-between keys that is produced, that Maya's produced here between each keyframe.
Is this like a stop in motion?
It's like what?
Like you stop and then you have to move them and then stop it. Yeah, that's a stop motion.
Stop motion. Oh, stop motion animation. No. The stop motion animation is going to each frame here. Right? So I guess in a way it is. Like I've done stop motion animation. It doesn't really feel the same, but I guess in theory it's kind of the same. You're trying to hit certain poses. Yeah, if it helps, we can think of it as stop motion. So, but we're doing one attribute at a time here, right? So right now I have him moving backwards in space over the course of 10 frames. And so, to go with that, I'll need his legs to work, of course. Alright, so I'm going to move him down a little bit so his legs stay in contact with the grid. Also helps if you need a ground. We can make a plane, supersize it. Yeah, give yourself a ground to work with. Okay, it's just under. Alright, and notice like once I click on another object here, I have the leg selected, there's no more keyframes because there's no keyframes on the leg. So those keyframes just apply to the torso right now. Alright, so I'm going to get the legs into their initial position. My camera's kind of wonky here. So let's say right about there. Down like so. Like that. And then lean them a little bit. That was
I
real
see chicken legs.
chicken legs. Yeah, yeah, he has really, really small legs. Yeah. He's a top-heavy guy here. All right, so the rotation for the torso isn't keyed in, so I don't have to worry about keying that in just yet. But working with the legs here, okay, I got them in position. So I'm gonna go ahead and individually click each one, each part. I can see each one over here in my outliner is selected. And then here's the second way of keying everything in. So this gets a little tricky because then you start keying in things you didn't intend on keying in. But after you get the hang of keying in each individual one, so like, you know, rotate, key selected, etc., after you know what you want to see, what you can do instead is you hit, was it S? S. So S key, and the S key will key everything keyable for the object selected in the current frame. Alright, and then from there, what I can do is I can come down here and hit this small icon in the corner here. It's got a couple of arrows around the keyframe. And what that does is that every time I move an object, it automatically keys in that attribute. So let's see. So let's move. Let's move through four frames here. All right. Just gonna move the leg right here. That one here. It's gonna look a little spacey because we're what do you call it? Counter animation. We're trying to get the legs to keep up with the torso here. So it's gonna look a little floaty. But for example, the auto key, so I'm on 4 here, move the legs just a little bit. So it automatically puts in new keys for me. What I can do is I can keep that going, so go up 4 more frames. Keep the idea of positioning here. Let's move that one forward. Move this one back. Got auto key on, so I don't have to worry about keying it back in. Cool. Alright, move up 12 more, 4 more frames. Let's see what that looks like. Alright. Need this one to bend a little bit. Before he gets there. Okay, so right there. And 12 extents. Cool. All right, any questions so far? No? All right. Cool. All right, so yeah, so like, first give it a try doing individual keyframes here. All right, and then you can turn on your auto key and it'll automatically update everything. Keep in mind, sometimes you need a holding key, right? And what a holding key is, it just keys it in position. It keys one of your geometries in position, and it just holds it there. And it lets Maya know I don't need this to move until this point. So example of that. So let's say I want him to sit in the chair at 20 frames here. Okay. So put him in the chair right about there. Let's see. First, I gotta go ahead and key in the other attributes. Oh, okay, this is a good example there. Okay, so 20, I want him sitting in the chair, right? I have auto key on, I move him into place, it automatically falls into place. The thing is, I don't need him this low until about 16 or so. Right, so I can go back, put him into place right here. Oh, okay, I forgot a crucial detail. Auto key here, it won't put in a new a keyframe unless there's already some sort of keyframe there in the first place. So I'm going to go to frame 1, I'm going to go ahead and hit S, make sure everything has keyframes on it. Okay, then at 12, set him in. Alright, so he's moving down into the frame, but I don't need him to dip until he's ready to bend his knees and everything. So we'll say 16 here is the holding keyframe. So what I'm going to do is I can either go to 16 and just correct it accordingly, like so. About here, right about here. And he won't begin sitting until after frame 16. But you can get some inconsistencies with that. Or I can go to the first frame here. Let's see. Actually, that doesn't work out so well. The plan was to copy this frame, but this frame has all kinds of keys on it right now. So let's see. Let's copy number 10. Copy that. Come to 16. We'll paste it. Alright, he's in place here. Begins to sit down. Kind of weird. I don't know why that's happening.
Are you doing it backwards?
Backwards?
Like with the play. Yeah.
Oh.
The keyframe.
It helps to go backwards. Oh, sorry. Notification here. It helps to go backwards, right? So it helps to do like general motions, like motions of the entire body, and then go back through, and then do motions for the arms, legs, head. And then if you needed to interact with anything, and it helps to start with the pose where it is either touching or holding it. You know, like if it's going to grab it, you start with that point of contact and then work backwards from there. That really helps. It's kind of weird. I wonder why is. Might be a graph editor thing. Just a second, guys. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, it's kind of finicky, man. This is getting really more complicated than hoping for. So what we can do is instead of all this in-depth things with animation, let's go ahead and let's do the stop motion animation, right? So pose by pose, straightforward animation. So I got the torso up here, right? Auto key is on. All the keys in the beginning are keyed in using the S key. You can go to 10, right? Stop it there. Go to about 16. Place them in the seat. Let's see, then I don't want him to start leaning forward until after he gets in the seat. So right here, I'll hit S to hold everything in place. And then we can rotate him forward, sort of settling into the seat. Alright. Alright, so my Y value is still, doesn't have the keyframe just right. So what is this? I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay, that's better. Alright, one step simpler. Okay, let's forget about auto key. Alright, so there's a lot of nuances about this. Alright, let's try it again. So what we'll do is instead keep this simple. Animating any of these body parts here. So we have one. We hit S. We're frame 10. Say he's somewhat close to the seat, ready to sit down. Let's hit S again. Say he sits down in about, about 6 frames. Place it right about here. We hit S, and then he rotates forward a little bit. And hit S again. Okay. And what you can do is, you can do this for all the parts here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start over. I guess this is useful. So to select multiple keyframes here, if you need to remove them, press and hold Shift, and you can click and drag. You can right click, delete. You can also move them around by hitting these little yellow arrows here. Alright. So again, so I got all my parts selected. You can see over here, each one selected here. I hit S to key everything keyable in place. Alright, we'll do the stop motion method here. So we'll go to frame 8. We'll move the torso back a little bit. Rotate it forward. Adjust the legs to compensate. Alright, you get the next pose, select everything, hit S, move forward a little bit, back into space a little more. Let's work on this pose by pose here. Alright, select everything, hit S, not the cheat a little bit, move this forward. Alright, go up about, I don't know, say 6 frames. Get the next position in place. Alright, select everything. Hit S. Scrub to see how it turned out. Yeah, not so bad. Cool. Alright. Sorry to make this much more complicated than it needs to be. Any questions, guys?
No.
No? No?
It would be hard for me because mine is just a block. And I want to know how to make it jump. You're just making them move legs. When this one doesn't have legs.
What creature did you do?
I said I was going to do a slide. I was like, I want to make it hop because I remember those things like to hop around. I was thinking maybe I should do a magnet cube. It was one or the other.
Wait, what? What? Do you have a picture of it? How do you spell it again?
It's a slime. That's what it is.
A slime. Oh.
Yeah, it's some Minecraft slime. It's that giant thick cube that just comes around and then bothers you for no reason.
Oh no, we again we need something with legs or some sort of appendages, right? That moves around.
I can redo mine.
Okay, yeah, because it's
Because I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I don't think I can do that.
Oh.
All it's gonna do is just float.
Right. Yeah, something with legs would work out Much better.
Alright.
All right. All right. Okay. So yeah, just give it a try. Let's say. Do. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So for the weekend, let's go ahead and let's get either a sitting, a hopping, or like a stepping motion. Your choice. One of those. Let's give it a try. Let's give it. Let's try to animate it in Maya. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. I'll post the assignment here shortly. Just let me know if you have any questions, and just remember, like, so we get in position, we select everything, we hit the S key. That's how we key it in. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you. See you all Tuesday, same time. And again, just let me know if you have any questions. Okay.
Alright.
All right.
No slime, I guess.
Yeah. We need some more, a little more detail. All
I
right.
was thinking about doing a bee, but that's not gonna work out because that's just basically flying.
Bees. Minecraft bee. Um. Well, I mean, it's got antenna and legs. If you want to do like a walking motion, it still has legs. So, like, you're going to do a walking motion or like a laying down motion or something of that sort. That would be good practice.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'll see you guys later. You take it easy.
Alright, bye.